see the Kings getting ready to go. Welcome, everyone, to this 2K Sports broadcast live from the capital city of California, Sacramento. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. And one of the players we'll be seeing in this one, Al Horford.
Yeah, he's the master of the kickout. Loves to get the ball down on the low block and have the defense collapse around him and then find an open teammate on the outside.
You know what else, guys? He instigates so many of their fast breaks just because of how quick and accurate he is with his outlet passing.
.152 left to play here in the first. To the middle. He feeds it to Goodrich. Dishes it to Korver. It's good from the top of the key. Korver's got his first 2 points of the night. The Kings trailed by 5.
There's no question the big news for the Sacramento Kings is they're still the Sacramento Kings. After a nail-biting last couple of years, they saw the team flirt with moving to Virginia, Anaheim, Las Vegas, Seattle. Finally, a new ownership group committed to keeping the team in Sac.
And for all the Kings fans, what a great victory. Former 3-time NBA All-Star and Sacramento native son, Mayor Kevin Johnson, instrumental in securing financing for the new arena, and Steve campaigning with the league's owners to keep the team in Northern California.
I think it surprised everyone, Kevin. Seattle made such a strong bid. I think most people thought the team would end up in Seattle, but Johnson did his job. Sacramento stepped up to the plate. And I think it's great that the Kings get to keep their team, and hopefully Seattle will end up with one in the next couple of years.
1:05 left here in the opening quarter.
Well, Kevin, we've got a moment now to look back to last year's Atlanta Hawks. Second in assists, 7th in field goal percentage, and they were top 10 in three-point shooting. That's a huge part of their offensive attack.
And the key really to that club, in my mind, was the offensive unselfishness. This was a team, as you mentioned, Clark, that finished in the top 5 in assists per game. So it was the fact that they really shared the ball. They had good ball movement and a good plan of attack all season long. Another good pass, and their offensive execution has been impressive, to say the least.
The last 4 field goals have been assisted. Yeah, passing has kept the defense off balance, but to get assists, you got to make the shots.
Salmon's passes to D-Box. Vasquez dishes to Thomas. Good ball movement here by the Kings. Shot clock at 6. The Kings need to get off a shot here. Here's Vasquez. And the 3 off target.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's a physical game, and so far the numbers show that they've got the edge on the glass.
Passes it to the Cobra. Leads him in there. Rejected by Mbamute. Here's Thomas. The scoring fast and furious as they end the first quarter. Hawks ahead.
Tune in this Thursday, November 7th. Al Horford and the Atlanta Hawks take on Ty Lawson and the Denver Nuggets. Live from Denver. Do not miss it.
And Atlanta has possession. This is the most they've led by 13 points. It's Millsap with the drive. Hangs in the air. Rejected by Landry. Out of bounds, Hawks ball as Atlanta keeps possession. With this break, let's show you the teams that led the league in assists last year. The Hawks second.
Yeah, wonderful passing team, and it was the kind of basketball that fans love to watch. Very unselfish.
The Cobra passes to Millsap. Goes back up, and it's good. Fought through contact, hits the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Mike Malone, the new head coach of the Sacramento Kings, son of a former NBA coach. Mike has been credited with helping teams improve their defenses, whether it was in New Orleans with Chris Paul, last season with Golden State. But Malone, very well regarded in NBA coaching circles.
Thomas and Thornton pairing up in the backcourt. Carl Landry is out there with Luke, Richard, and Bahamute. And it's Chamberlain in at the 5. That's the 5 out there for the Kings. Thomas kicks to Mbamute. 6 to shoot. Thomas nailed from three-point land. Thomas got 5 points so far. And the Sacramento team, Clark, not without offensive talent, but their defense has been their shortcoming.
And that's the area they've got to ramp up and improve. And Coach Malone is going to have an opportunity to put his stamp on this team by improving them at the defensive end of the floor.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Gentlemen, Ben McLeod grew up in poverty in the tough town of Wellston, Missouri, near St. Louis. A tiny house with up to 15 people under one roof. At times, no food, no heat. A single mother working nights to provide. And before his senior year, his high school shuttered for good. Basketball was his one escape. He said, quote, "If you say you're from Wellston, they give you that look. It's just the reputation. It's a hard place to live and grow." But he says even now that he's made it out, I'm never going to forget Wellston. I was born and raised there. It's my heart and my pride. I'm going to give back. I want to build it back to how it was. Guys, what an extraordinary story.
An amazing story. And Doris, good thing it had a happy ending. Thank you. Here's what Sacramento's going with right now. Adi Divac's checked in for Landry. Salmons comes in for Mbamute. And it's Vasquez in for Marcus Thornton. Here's Chamberlain. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
You know, one of the things you always think about with Will Chamberlain is the 100-point game, and rightly so. But where he was so dominant was defensively, and I think people don't talk about that enough. I mean, he just owned the paint. He was bigger, faster, and more athletic than anybody else on the court.
Yeah, he was one of the greatest athletes to play basketball, and he just happened to be over 7 feet tall, Will Chamberlain. One thing that gets overlooked was just how good a passer he was. You know, he actually led the league in assists one season. He could board it. He could throw it down the floor for easy shots for his teammates. He was a fantastic low-post presence.
Big Daddy's checked in for the Kings.
Well, defense for the Hawks last season kind of night and day. They were 6th best in defensive efficiency, but really struggled defending the three-point line. Gave up way too many open looks out there.
The shot's good from the Cobra. The Cobra's got his first basket.
And the defense paying instant dividends. Fast break basket.
Yeah, that transition was immediate. Didn't waste a second getting out on the break.
Now, here's Thomas. He's guarded closely. Feeds it to Salmons. Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession. And for the Hawks, a little undersized, Clark, as you... There's 42 seconds left to play in the first half. Stockton passes to the Cobra. Picked by Horford. Down low. And stolen by Chamberlain. Goes up. And Thornton with the stuff.
Yeah, he didn't even bother to wait around for any help on that break.
That was a one-man job all the way, Steve. He knew what to do with it and when.
Now the dish to Stockton. Pass to the Cobra. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Cunningham kicks to Scott. They set the screen. 6 on the shot clock. Here is Cunningham. Stockton left side. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. Here's McCallum. No good. And through the first half, a pretty lopsided affair. The Hawks on top.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Welcome to 2K Sports. We're in the early stages of
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now.
Well, Mike Budenholzer, you know, the new coach of the Hawks, spent 19 years with the San Antonio Spurs, including 17 as an assistant. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better teaching ground than that.
On the court for Atlanta, the Cobra. He's in at point guard. Horford is out there with Elton Brand. Then there's Paul Millsap, and it's Goodrich in at the shooting guard position. Millsap dishes to Goodrich. And the pass to the Cobra. He kicks it to Millsap. Here's the screen. Lock at 6. A baseline J. It's hauled in by the Kings. And back to Budenholzer, who was with the Spurs for 19 years. Steve, the Spurs, the winningest team in pro sports over the last 15 years.
Yeah, I'm glad that Budenholzer has finally gotten his chance. I played for him for 4 seasons. He's a guy who loves the game. He's very dedicated, hardworking, and has learned from probably the best coach in the NBA during his time in San Antonio. Ouch, another miss to add to what's been a miserable game for him from the field.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Hi, gentlemen. For the Sacramento Kings, a lot of rookies, and not just among the players. A new first-time majority owner, a new rookie GM, and Mike Malone, a first-time head coach. New blood taking over. But for all 3, extensive experience in assisting roles, whether assistant coach, assistant GM, or minority ownership. So guys, despite being new to the lead role, none of them lack for experience.
Thanks, Doris. We'll see how they do. And the Hawks will go for a different look here. Pass to Stockton. Here's the Cobra. 6 on the shot clock. He'll set up a screen. From downtown. Landry grabs the miss. Looking at the last game for the Atlanta Hawks, it was a loss to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, loss or no loss, that was a fantastic game, Clark. They could be proud of the way they battled at least.
I suppose, but Steve, it still was a really heartbreaking loss. I mean, you hate to lose in overtime. No matter how hard you played, it still leaves you very empty and disappointed when you come up short. A lot was made about the Kings in their home last year, but it wasn't about how well are they playing at home. It was about where is their home going to be next season. The Kings.
And we've made our way through just over a minute and a half in this 4th quarter. Now Salmons, Divac, covered by Brand, and it'll be Sacramento as it goes out of bounds. The Kings retain possession. And you go back to the Kings at home last year, 20-21 record, and it was easy to see just how much tougher a team they were in this building. You know, Steve, they really looked like a team that could compete with anyone at any time.
Well, this community really rallied behind the franchise, and there was a lot of worry that maybe this was the farewell tour for the Kings fans and the players. And they played their hearts out last year. You got to give them a lot of credit for really fighting, particularly down the stretch when things looked grim.
Thomas and Thornton pairing up in the backcourt. Salmon's out there with Carl Landry, and it's Chamberlain in at the center, locking down the middle. That's the 5 out there for the Kings. Just 5 to shoot. Out of bounds, Sacramento will take possession. Chance to check out the Sacramento Kings' upcoming schedule. When this game is finished, they'll be off to Portland taking on the Trailblazers. That will be a getaway game for them, a 1-game road trip. Thomas kicks to Thornton. On deep. It's rebounded by the Cobra.
You know, so many games are decided by which team wins the rebound battle, and that's held true in this one so far, Steve.
And even if it's only a modest advantage that they have in that category, it's still a significant factor.
And it's blocked by Brand. Here we go, one-on-one. And stolen by Thornton. And the Kings pushing it up now. Thornton's got the ball. And the rejection by Brand.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
And here's what's upcoming now for the Hawks. They're off to Denver after this game as they apply their skills at the Pepsi Center. That'll be the 3rd game of this 3-game road trip.
No doubt the Denver fans want to see the Nuggets take that game.
Thomas passes to Landry. Uses both hands to slam it down. And that's how you exploit a gap in the D, I guess, huh?
Yes, sir. No soft finish there. Major power.
Wow. He knows an opportunity for the highlight reel when he sees one.
Back to Brand. And he can't stop this drought. Another miss. Here's Thornton. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You look at Marcus Thornton, not a LSU 6'4", a scoring guard. He can really light it up in a hurry off the bench.
And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Hawks.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ball game.
And something else they've excelled at is their interior defense. A lot of blocked shots for them tonight.
And the Hawks making a change here. Goodrich is checked in. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And for Thornton, a second-rounder back in 2009. His size does hurt him defensively, but you'd have to say he's exceeded expectations, Clark.
I think so, Kevin. He surprised a lot of people with his ability to provide instant offense. He is pretty locked in with tunnel vision offensively. He's myopic now at that end of the floor. He's thinking about getting the ball and scoring the ball. But in his role, I think he's perfect for it.
Thomas dishes to Thornton. Back to Thomas. There's the triple. Gets the bucket. Thomas got 5 points in the quarter.
That's his first three-pointer of the half. Remember, he did make one in the first half as well.
The Cobra passes to Brink. And you know that's going to be goaltending, guys, so that's a free basket right there.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And the crowd immediately letting the officials have it after that whistle.
A very unpopular call there.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2.
You know, you look at the Hawks last season, and despite the emergence of Jeff Teague as a point guard, didn't have a dominating assist guy at that position, and it was basically more of an equal opportunity offense as far as the assists go.
And Clark, as you said, the Hawks a very good passing team. Steve actually finished 3rd in the NBA in assists per game last year as a team.
Well, it helps when you have great passers at every position, and I thought that was the case for Atlanta last year. The ball moved, players tried to create easier shots for each other, and that's why they were a pretty effective team.
The Cobra passes to Goodrich. 6 to shoot. Doubled by Thornton. Goodrich against Thornton. And they force the shot clock violation. Here's McLemore. Back to Landry. Vasquez. He kicks to Hayes. Good work defensively by Horford.
I like the work there, contesting that shot. It looked like it was going to be easy, but they forced the miss.
Easy win for you guys tonight. Did you see that one coming?
Yeah, man. I thought it was pretty clear the second I stepped out on the court. I make teams win, baby. Always have, always will. When you're born a winner, that kind of thing just happens all the time. At this point in my life, it's like clockwork. I expect to win no matter what I'm competing in, and tonight was no different. You saw the result. You want to disagree with me?